Kelly's videos. Here we go. We're going to do lesson 1-1 today. Now 1-1 is on evaluating expressions. So if I tell you that you have a problem that says 13 times n, and then I tell you that n equals 3, what we're going to do is we're going to substitute in that value for n. So instead of 13 times n, we're now going to make it 13 times 3. And then when you multiply those two together, you're going to get 39. Okay? Now, what if we had a fraction? So let's try a fraction type problem. Let's say we had 9 over n. All right? Now, you know fractions just mean to divide. So if I slip in instead of n, I substitute in 3 instead, I get 9 over 3. And we know this is division, and the top number always goes inside the box. In the box, I mean by the division symbol here, it goes inside. Notice it went inside the box. 3 goes into 9 3 times, which means your answer is 3. Okay, let's try a subtraction problem. Let's say we had n take away 1, and again, n is still equal to 3. So instead of writing n, I'm now going to write 3. So it's 3 take away 1, which is going to give us 2. All right, now those are easy ones. So let's move on to something a little bit more difficult. Okay, so looking at the problems that we did today in class, I'm going to go ahead and give you a problem. This is actually number 3 in your textbook on page 5. We have 15x when x equals 4. Okay? All this means is to substitute in x for 4. But just as a reminder, whenever you see two things slapped together, that means to multiply. So we're going to do 15 times 4. Instead of this x, I'm substituting in the value of 4. When I multiply these out, I'm going to get the answer of 60. And that's all you have to do. Okay, let's try another one. The next one I'm going to try is going to be number 9. Same book, same page. Number 9. We have 24 over f. And again, when f equals 8. Okay, so I'm going to substitute in this 8 for f and swap those two out. So I wind up getting 24 over 8, which is going to be 3. And I got 3 because I divided. Remember, fractions just mean to divide. Top number goes inside the box, which looks like this. And we all know that 8 times 3 equals 24. Okay? All right, now let's try doing some problems that have exponents and powers. Okay, we are learning about this in class, that you have a value of an exponent. So let's say you had 2 to the 3rd power. That does not mean 2 times 3. Because watch, 2 times 3 is going to give us 6. So keep that in mind. What you're really supposed to do here is write this number that many times. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to multiply these all together. And when I multiply these together, I'm going to get a different answer than 6. And this is just to prove to you that these are two separate things. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2. Got to bring this down. 4 times 2 is 8. Notice I got clearly 2 totally different answers. This is not the way to do it. You always just take this number and it tells you how many times to write your big number. Okay, so the answer to this was 8. Let's try another one. What if we had 3 squared? Squared means it's to the second power. Cubed means it's to the third power. So we have 3 squared. Well, that tells me I need to write this number 2 times. 1, 2. And I know I'm going to multiply each time. So 3 times 3 is going to give you the value of 9. Oops, let's get rid of these boxes here. It's going to give you 9. Okay, let's try another one. What if we had 1 to the 5th power? That means we're writing this 1 5 times, which is going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Multiply, multiply, all the way out. Okay, and this one's kind of easy because we know that 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is always going to just be 1. But it's more to show you that we had to write it 5 times because the exponent here, the power, was to the 5th power. All right, let's try one a little harder. Let's try one, here we go. Let's try 2 to the 6th power. Again, our power is telling us how many times we write it. So we need to write this number 6 times. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're going to multiply these all together. Now what I like to do when they get really long like this is just chunk it. Chunk them into groups. Here's 1 group, here's 2 group, here's 3 groups. Okay, and it makes the multiplication a little bit easier. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So now we took this huge group and we have now 3 numbers to work with. Again, we can chunk it again. Let's do these two. What's 4 times 4? It's 16. And now we just have to multiply by our remaining number, which is times 4. And 16 times 4 is going to give us 64. All right, well, what if we combine the 2 lessons of evaluating expressions and evaluating the powers and solve that way? So what if I gave you a problem that said x squared when x equals 3/4? Okay, so let's look at this problem. So x squared, which means 3/4 squared. Okay, which all that means is to write that number 2 times. 3/4 times 3/4. And remember, when we are multiplying fractions, we do not need common denominators, so we just multiply straight across. So we have 3 times 3, which is going to give us 9. Oops, funny looking 9 there. And 4 times 4 is going to give us 16. All right, now this is how we're going to leave it because there is not a number that can simplify this fraction. So our answer is 9/16, and that's it. All right, so you just, again, you substitute in what the value is for x. If there's a power, you raise it to that power, and then you solve to simplest terms. Okay, well, I hope this helped you.